the Federal Security Service of Russia has released new footage showing Mark Doe's successor following in his clumsy footsteps. James William Thomas Ford, entering a restaurant in Moscow, former Second Secretary for Political Affairs at the British Embassy, designated an undeclared MI6 agent, married to Elizabeth Grenberg, designated Swedish intelligence agent. Following him in is Russian opposition figure Vladimir Ashurkov, Alexei Navalny's right-hand man, executive manager of the FBK Foundation, currently living in the UK. Surveillance of this meeting was conducted by Russian counterintelligence, keeping an eye on Special Agent Ford.
If we had more money, we would expand our activities, of course, with a little money. If somebody would spend, I don't know, $10–20 million a year on supporting this, we would see quite different picture. And this is, not a big amounts of money for people who have billions at stake in this game. So that's the message that I'm trying to project in my fundraising effort and talking to people, business community and so on.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Fund us into power and we'll pay you back with billions, hints the man crusading against corruption. The opposition even has a plan, which is remarkably similar to what they accuse the government of doing, from bombarding voters with propaganda to backdoor deals with elites.
We need to play on different chessboards. Mass protests, civil initiatives, propaganda, establishing contacts with the elite and explaining to them that we are reasonable people and we're not going to demolish everything and take away their assets, things like that.
Ashurkov, cementing rumors that the opposition is being helped by foreign intelligence, appears to ask the British for help, information from government and intelligence agencies to use against the Russian government.
In some cases we don't have maybe, the direct evidence. Our evidence is circumstantial, but I'm sure that SFO has access to a lot of information that would not be available to us from British sources. And if, I'm sure there is information within the British agencies that would link Abramovich or Usmanov, people in the Russian government. I think Britain is a key European country that can influence and that is already taking a tougher stance towards Russia.
Britain, after all, has much to gain. Here, Ashurkov doesn't beat around the bush. The meaning is clear. Give us information and we'll help get rid of competition for British banks by torpedoing Russian ones.
We will release a report on VTB Bank in association with the Henry Jackson Society in London, which paints the picture of how VTB...
Here, a short pause for the waitress. You never know. She could be a spy trying to listen in.
How VTB is involved in corruption, how risk management is not working, and we make the case that it represents the threat to European financial markets and to their integrity because it's a significant player in Europe, and they make it more difficult for British firms like Lloyd's or RBS or other big banks to Barclays to compete.
Despite Ashurkov's hints, Mr. Ford doesn't commit to any direct financial support. Instead, he points Ashurkov to a workaround. Work with Transparency International, which Britain was already financing.
The foreign agent legislation, of course, is going to be a big thing for this autumn, I think. We provide support for various NGOs, as lots of embassies do. So I think it's something that's going to, once this new legislation comes into force in November, I think there's going to be a big focus on it. they will argue, and I think we'll probably have to argue at some point before too long, that specifically they are not political and therefore not foreign agencies, etc. I mean, we are funding a project run by them, mainly in Ukraine, but also in some other countries in the region, on open government, this open government partnership, building a kind of an action plan for Russia.
We are open to work with them, we just don't think that it's going to be effective.
Just imagine a British politician meeting with Russian Secret Service agents to beg for funding and dirt on rivals. It would cause a national uproar. Aside from the ethical complications, it would also undoubtedly be viewed as a security threat. It's never been a secret that the opposition in Russia has ties with and sometimes works in the interests of foreign governments.
So we'll see what comes out of that. So this broadly describes what I do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, not a small job.